Hello everybody and welcome back to another Flosstube. My name is Janine, my pronouns are she, they, and today is Monday the 23rd of October. I am coming to you from a Wabbical country and I thought today I would follow up from sort of my last video in the parade sort of element and come and show you the whips that I have. So I'm the type of person that gets decision paralysis when it comes to too many work in progresses. So I usually stick between like 10 to 12 works in progress at a time, particularly because I will freeze and not be able to make a decision. There's a bit of paralysis there, but particularly around the decision on what project I want to work on. So today will be a relatively short video, I suppose. I will try and remember as much detail as I can about everything. I have no dates in terms of any of the projects because I never kept track of that sort of stuff until recent. So rather than me trying to pick dates on the certain things that I do remember, I'll just leave all of them out. I'm also not a statistics tracker, so I don't have any of that information either. So I have my 11 projects here, and I will just work through them. I will try and insert pictures of the completed or what they would look like when they're completed, and then show you what my project progress is. All right, 2-minute intro done. Let's jump into it. So the first project I've got is the Morrigan, and it is by Carolyn Manning Designs. This is what it looks like. So I'm stitching it on just a 28 count white even weave. Stitch 2/2, and this is how much I've done here. Sorry for the loose threads. I'm more of a page type of finisher. Well, actually that's a lie. I'm a page finisher for this project. So I started this year, I actually remember, for the Manning May sale. I've never really sort of been one to do fractional sort of designs, but the colours and the Morrigan in itself is what sold me on this project. So the Manning May was a sale done by the group of stitchers in America, which are Bridgen, Museum Stitcher, Megan, Seattle Stitcher, I'm sorry. Who else? Cam the Stitcher and Marjorie made, past tense, present tense, I'm not sure. I believe they're the 4 people who sort of coined that sale. So I thought, it'd be cool to start sort of joining, particularly for accountability. So that's what this looks like. Have not touched it since the end of May. 1. So the next piece is Treasure Island sale by Our Forest Embroidery. I've not kept up with this whatsoever. I am in my Instagram post around Meet the Maker. I posted a lot about myself, and one of my favorite movies of all time is Treasure Planet, which is an adaptation of Treasure Island by Robert Louis Stevenson. So when I saw this sale, I was like, yes, please. So I has started this when the sale started. So this is what it's up to now. And this is all I've done. And I don't know if you can see, but I half started to frog a piece of it and then just was like, no, this is in the sin bin. So this is where I got up to, and as you can tell, I have started to frog this little blue part here. I believe it was miscounted somewhere, but there's that Treasure Island. So this is on a 36 count Decrepit by number 12 Stitch Co. The one I would absolutely buy a bolt of. This is what the entire fabric looks like if anyone's curious. Incredible. We love it. So I am stitching this 2/2 with a mix of DMC and cottage garden threads. This is on a linen. Oh gosh, this is a huge piece of fabric. So here is what that looks like. So the DMC is the orange so far, and then this reddy part here is a Mojo Stitches and a Cottage Garden Thread collaboration. I'm guessing it's leather bound, but I will put all that stuff in the annotation / just, what are they called? Annotation description box. Anyway, that's what that is up to. Again, I'm the type of person that when I have to frog something, I lose interest in it. So I'm like, you're going in the sin bin too. All right. Next, I kept this thing in the Q-snap. This is, surprisingly, I have monogamously, that's a word, right? I have worked on this monogamously for the last 2 months, maybe. You'll see it. I post a lot about it on my Instagram, which is Linen and Wattle, same as my name. So this is Sakura by Autumn Lane Stitchery, and this is what it would look like finished. And this is where I'm up to. So I'm currently working on the bottom of her dress. So everything is stitch called for. This project, particularly this section, this page here, was the death of me. I started it last year, the year before, and I miscounted somewhere here, and then it just threw off my counting. And then I got a second wind this year where I was like, I just need to finish the page, and then I'll just make it work. So this is definitely not 100% called for because there's some missed stitches, but I just wanted to get it done. So yeah, I've stitched quite a lot. So over the last couple of months, I've done all of this yellow here and then the bottom of this dress. So this is on a Be Stitch Me fabric that I got during COVID, I think, actually, when Brandy was doing the Friday night fight nights. Yeah, they were very not friendly to Australian time, so I had to figure it out and get all that sort of stuff. And don't know if anyone's done an FN before, but you absolutely spend a lot more than you expect. It's very deceiving, particularly when you're just like, I love fabric, let me just jump all on it. So this is an unnamed one as far as I know. Oh yeah, I've got the card here. Yeah, it's an opal Lugana 28 count 452. Yeah, and it's all stitched, yeah, DMC. I'm not sure if I said that. Now I bought this grime guard on Etsy from a Cookies Handmade. It's indigenous sort of fabric, which is incredible. Obsessed. All right, next we have a most recent start, and it is Away We Ride by Blackbird Designs. So this is it completed, and this is also in the Q-snap, and this is what I've done so far. This fabric is amazing. So this fabric is 40 count Tornado by Fox and Rabbit. And I'm stitching 1/2 with the Corb for Gentle Art and Weeks Dye Works. I'm obsessed with this fabric. I don't know. I just love it. Okay. Next we have a kit. So I am not a kit person until I went to the Daisy Chain Stitches retreat, not this year, last year, my first retreat. And I was sold on a Luca S kit called Still Life with Mushrooms. So rather than me trying to find a photo, I'll just show you the pattern. I mean the design. So this is what it's going to look like. I love mushrooms. So I started this. We do something called like a Stitchy meetup once a month in my local area in the sort of Hunter Valley, Newcastle, East Coast area in Australia. And this is a project I work on once a month when I go to those stitching sort of meetups. So what I've done so far is this. Yes. So this is, I can't even tell you what. Oh, it's Anchor. It's the first time I've stitched on it. We stitched with Anchor. There you go. So it all comes in a kit. So this is, yeah, as far as I've gotten. So the fabric is 32 count parchment by Paddock Lane Designs, and I'm stitching 2/2. Needle minders by, I think it's Ginger Stitch. It'd be very, very surprising if it wasn't. Yeah, but this is it. I've enjoyed it a lot, and it's a mushroom, so what can you do? All right, 5 down, 6 to go. Next we have Autumn Town by, surprise, surprise, Autumn Lane Stitchery. This is what it looks like finished, and this is what I've gotten. So I am stitching on 32 count Sage by Whoopsie Daisy Designs, which is the same company business that organized the Daisy Chain Stitches retreat I just mentioned for the last project. So this is where I'm up to. This is what I've done. So I'm stitching this with DMC Weeks Dye Works. This ready part here is a called for Gloriana, which I didn't order. So I've just subbed it for a, I think it's that leather bound that I mentioned for the Treasure Island project, which is a Cottage Garden Threads and a Mojo Stitches collaboration, part of their bookshelf range. Bought that whole range. I'm absolutely obsessed with that. And if you haven't seen Mojo Stitches video on that, just talking about the inspiration for each of those types of threads, I would highly recommend it. I would link it below. Like I just talking about books and just talking about someone's special interest and eye sparkle or whatever you want to call it, it just, like I feel passionate listening to them talk about their passion, which I guess is why we all sort of are interested in Flosstubes. So would really recommend checking that out, and that range is incredible. So yeah, that's what I'm up to so far. As you can see, I've only half stitched or tent, whatever you want to call it, the sky for this. I am still deciding if I want to go full cross or leave it as a half. If I was going to go cold for by the pattern, it would be a full cross, but I don't know, I just kind of like the dimension shift in a way. So that's this one. Amazing. All right, next we have the Practical Magic Sal. So this is, as soon as I saw the border for this project, I was sold. But like I mentioned earlier, anytime I have a mistake and I need to frog, the project goes in the sin bin. So this is what happened with this one. Now this is by Atomic Tiki Pins. If you're a Practical Magic fan or a Charmed fan, or just a fan of pop culture, check out their patterns. They're incredible. So this is what it looks like finished. So the sal finished perhaps last year. How long have I lived here? over a year. So yeah, the sale would have finished last year. It was free. Or you could pay your own, I think, via Gumroad. And this is what I've done. And another surprise, this is on a 32 count Decrepit by number 12 Stitch Co. So this is the pattern in its full glory. Well, what I've done so far, rather. And I'll do it up close. So I started off, as you can tell by this, the beetle, the Deathwatch beetle, which is what these are, if anyone's interested. Deathwatch beetle, it was just sold me in that pattern. And then you've got your heart, your spilled salt, and your lavender for luck. And then so the main pattern, as you can see, yeah, it's sort of like a mirrored, and then it's got all the different sort of elements of the movies in it. And this is the Midnight Margarita right at the bottom. So I got a bit nervous about my stitching and my count, so I decided to then continue all the black on the border. And then I found it worked fine, and then sort of, yeah, just I guess, I can't remember where I needed to frog, but would love to get back to this because, yeah, there was just a lot of black, a lot of 310. Next, we have a really small one, which I honestly probably should work on soon because it will be a very quick finish. I don't know what this pattern's called. I'm going to go Drag Me to Hell. And this is what it looks like. It's by Beast or God on Patreon/Instagram. I was a part of their Patreon for a while. And then I can't remember why I stopped. But yeah, would really recommend. So I'm stitching this on 16 count Eyre oatmeal. That's the other thing you'll notice about me. I combine words a lot, including sayings. So I would like to say I have the motivation to edit this stuff out, but I could not be bothered. And I guess that's where you get my personality. So this is 16 count Eyre oatmeal, and I'm stitching 2/2. This is what I've done. 3 days for the curse to develop, and I've just started on the first block here. All 310, as you can see from the sample picture, except for a couple of red. But yeah, and this was like a little pocket like stitch I kept in my handbag for a while with so I could just whip it out whenever I needed to on the lunch break or if I'm a passenger in a car. But I stopped because the new Zelda came out on the Switch, Tears of the Kingdom, and then that then became my lunch break / passenger of the car trip activity until I felt nauseous, inevitably. Anyway, we love tangents. All right, 3 more to go. Next, we have another stitch along that has since finished. I kept up with this quite consistently until what came out? Dark Queen of the Earth came out, and then that's what took up my time, particularly with full-time study, full-time work. I wanted to sort of keep up with us out. Surprisingly that I did, to be completely honest with you, which you would have seen in my finish parade anyways. Tangent again. So this is Jane Eyre Mini Sal by Sapphire Mountain Handcrafts / Stitching Book Club. This is what it looks like finished. So I'm doing the mini. So there was 2 parts. There was a larger one and a mini, but the mini was something that I felt was more within my time capacity. So I'm stitching on 40 count Weathered by number 12 Stitch Co, and I'm stitching 1/2. So this is what I've done so far. This is all called for DMC. I actually picked this up about a week ago, and I stitched a little bit, and then I was like, I'm done. I'm over it. Momentum shifted, and I just wasn't feeling it. All right. Next we have the Witch Black Phillip by Wild Violet cross stitch. This is what it looks like completed. And I'm stitching mine on 40 count ancient Newcastle linen by Picture This Plus. I'm stitching this 2/2, which I have so much regret because it is so thick. And I thought I could get away with switching from 2/2 to 1/2, and I just thought it was obvious enough for me to notice that I've done a switch. And I'll let you look at it, and then I'll tell you where I've switched, and then we switch back. So this is what I have done. It is so tiny, like it's a 40 count, so it is, yeah. And the stitches are like tiny. So I got a bit sore from trying to stitch 2/2 on a 40 count. So I needed to take a break. So what really is this top part here, if you look at the date, the first 3 letters are 2/2, and then the O is 1/2. And then I was like, and then I thought to myself, yeah, no, it's a bit too obvious for my liking, particularly because I wasn't about to frog, because when I decided to change, I need a board. I had just already stitched all of this and then had gone and switched it over, and then I wasn't about to frog all of that. So I thought I'll just bite the bullet and continue with the 2/2. But again, hurt my fingers, so it's in the sin bin. I'll probably get back to it because I really love that pattern. And Wild Violet cross stitches patterns are incredible. I've done a few others, which you could check out on my Instagram anyways. All right, last but not least, because this is probably the most complicated and expensive pattern ever, it is a Chatelaine. It is the Japanese Octagon box. Now, I'm not going to stitch it in the Octagon. I've seen Sakura, I believe is their Instagram, stitch this and frame it in just one line with a few sort of stitches, gaps in between each frame, like little box, and it just looked incredible. So I am going to take a page out of their book and go and do exactly the same. So I have ordered most of the NPI, I think they are, threads, and some of the Gloriana. I can't get from that I've seen, and if anyone has any ideas, yell at me or tell me, maybe it would be nicer. I haven't been able to get any of the Northern Lights threads or silks for it. I just haven't found a stockist in Australia. I think in hindsight, if I ever decide to do another Chatelaine, I'm going to just buy it through the European Crop Stitch website, particularly for all of those specialty threads. That being said, there's such a Gloriana shortage at the moment, there'd be a 6-month wait. But, you know, whatever. Anyway, so this is what the pattern looks like. And I have done for this much. Yep. Should have folded this in the right way. So this is the first square. That's not a square, Janine. A first rectangle, first frame of the project. It is a 32 count French pear linen 2/2 I'm stitching by number 12 Stitch Co. So once the pattern's quite long, like I think I'm assuming if it's an octagon, there's 8. Duh. So yeah, will be when it's done. So I stitched, well, the black, it's all called for NPI, I believe, but the black I've just done 310 because I just wanted to start it. And then I went to Stitch. It's a shop in Willoughby, which is in Sydney for those on Gadigal country. For those who are not familiar with suburbs, etc. in Australia, I went to Stitch in Willoughby to pick up the NPI, which are the grey, the green, and yeah, as I said, the black is the 310. It's really cool. You can feel the difference between like or at least I feel the difference, but I'm a very sensory person. Yeah, between like stroking the NPI versus the 310. I think there's a big difference. So Project 11. All right. Well, thanks for watching. We'll pop all my details down below if anyone wants to follow me on socials. I'm semi-active on there. It quite depends on everything in terms of work, school, a uni, blah, blah, blah. But happy if anyone ever has any questions to shoot me a DM or a comment down below. Thanks for tuning in. And I will see you in a few weeks. Happy October, everybody, and take care. Bye.